All right, John, we're talking about the possible cuts. You've got a list there of a thing or a copy of something that we're going to put in with this about the.
Yeah, this Norman was out of the Elkins Intermountain Saturday before last, and
they're one of the few places that actually picked up on this story, right?
Right. I haven't read anything in the Charleston paper because I don't get to read it every day on this exact thing. But
well, I read it every day. I followed his vetoes. Mm-hmm. A lot of this is a result of the governor's vetoes, right?
Right. That's what happened. Actually, the House of Delegates put good money on the table. They had that went through.
So you got to support Denise Campbell, our delegate.
Yeah, the House delegates done real good. The Senate was a little bit standoffish on that, but anyway, they put plenty of money on the table for us to operate under, and I'm talking about the whole state, not only Pocahontas County. But then when it got to the governor's desk, well, he decided to use his veto pen, and he didn't veto the bill, but he cut the amount back, and I think it was like $84 million total he cut out of programs, and of course, our concern is the senior program because it's a priority to us, of course, since that's what we handle. So anyway, I would ask all seniors or anybody that's interested in this to write Governor Tomlin a letter.
And you've got the address there.
Yes, the address.
Let me call out the address here. It looks like Governor Earl Ray Tomlin, Office of the Governor, State Capitol, 1900 Canoa Boulevard East, Charleston, West Virginia. Okay, so what are some of the services that might be impacted by?
Okay, well, as this reads, more than $1 million, and talking about cuts, more than $1 million from senior citizen centers and programs, and $100,000 for in-home services and nutrition for senior citizens.
Now, you've already taken a hit on the meals, right?
Absolutely. From last year, we're $6,800 less on the C1 meals, and the C1 meals is the in-house meals that we have.
Right.
Our contract right now is $6,800 less that we're under right now what it was last year. So we've already taken a hit on that part of it.
How did that impact you?
Well, we're able to work around the thing with fundraisers and that type of thing to offset this cut. And of course, the county commission's been.
I was at the fundraiser at Hillsborough. You had a pretty good fundraiser there.
And we had a $10,000 goal, and that's the March for Meals. March Madness, what it's called. It's a Meals on Wheels program that's set up every March for fundraiser and awareness to what Meals on Wheels amounts to. And we set a goal of $10,000 here in the county, and lo and behold, we made it. We're a little bit over $10,000. Now that'll offset some of the cuts that we're going to suffer on the thing. And of course, I don't want to get people get the idea that we're going to shut down. I mean, it's
right.
Not that.
Yeah, that's important. Makes it harder. Make that note.
Right. It makes it more difficult all the time for us to have new and different things for the seniors. And
what are some of the things that you do with the seniors that maybe some people don't know?
Okay.
About?
Well, we have three main programs. First of all, the Meals on Wheels. That's to our homebound seniors here in the county, and we serve all over the county. Through Mountain.
And you've got 2 or 3 trucks?
We have 2 hot and cold meal delivery trucks, one in Greenbank, one in Marlton, and the average trip, round trip out of Greenbank right now is about 86 miles, I believe it is, and although it varies because people get on and off the thing, people pass away and everything, so it's about 86-mile round trip that they make 3 days a week out of Greenbank, and down here it's just about 90-mile round trip that we make 3 times a week with this hot and cold meal delivery truck down here, and of course it's all over, up every holland and down.
I see it everywhere.
People live back, off the road, and of course wherever.
And you got a little truck that can get into those places.
That's a little 4-wheel drive Ford Ranger. We have 2 of them. They're identical, and I was able to get that second one. They had the one here in Marlton when I come down here, and so I petitioned the state, and they give us some money for the second one back when times were better, and but they work real well. And those they have a hot compartment on there and a cold compartment, and that last meal that comes off there is either as hot or the milk and everything is as cold as the first delivery. It really, they really work good. There's nice little trucks, and of course we go on all these back roads and everything, in the winter, and except when it gets too bad for anybody to be out. So it works out real well. Okay, the second program that we have is the transportation program. Now what that amounts to, we have 8 different vehicles. There's 4 in Greenbank and 4 here in Marlton. There's one assigned to Hillsborough to bring the seniors into the center down there. But the Greenbank and the Marlton centers has the vans that takes people to medical appointments. We go to Lewisburg, Elkins, sometimes to Morgantown, Buckhannon, Beckley and Charleston, Roanoke. That's our routes. We go and seniors that don't.
Pretty important.
Absolutely, there's a lot of seniors that don't drive, and some do drive short distance, but you know they don't feel comfortable driving those long distance places to a doctor's appointment.
And they see doctors a lot.
Oh, absolutely.
That's their time of life for seeing the doctor a lot.
Right.
Seemed like when I found out when we retired, my wife and I retired, that we ended up with, we spent most of our time going to the doctor.
Absolutely.
Or the pharmacy.
Right. So we have 6 medical drivers here in the county, and they're busy every day. That's their job to do that, and you see the vans going and coming and.
Now, do they travel as a team? Are they a 2-person team or 1 person?
Depending on the patient themselves. There's times that we send 2 people if somebody
if they need a lot of assistance.
They need a lot of assistance. And of course, we have a wheelchair acceptable van here in Marlton, and we have one up in Greenbank. So if somebody's in a wheelchair, we can handle that too. Of course, the third program we have is the in-home services we provide. We have 17 girls that works under that, and I say girls.
I said that's a pretty big pretty big job provided there.
Absolutely, and they go into the homes and provide levels of care, and there's about 6 different levels depending on what that senior needs, anywhere from just general light housework type help up to the Alzheimer high level thing. So anyway, that's the 3 main programs. And of course, the centers, we try to have activities for the senior, bingo, and just anything we can think of.
Yeah, I have a friend who enjoys coming to bingo.
Yeah, absolutely. So that's basically what we do, and of course, it's good to get the word out why we're here and what type of work we do for the county. And you know, when it comes to budget cuts and that type of thing, we're going to fight it tooth and nail because the seniors have earned their way. Now,
that's right.
You know, they've paid taxes down through the years. They worked hard, and a lot of them is retired with no pension, because pensions back when they worked was unheard of, really, and they didn't make enough of a wage to push their Social Security up very much. We have seniors here in the county that lives on $600 and $700 a month. You know, in the time they pay their utilities and you know, and drugs and whatever else they have to pay, there's no money left for food. So, you know, it comes down to the point whether they're going to eat or buy drugs. So it's really a shame that this country has allowed itself to get into that kind of a situation, but it's all over. And so anyway, that's what we're here for, to serve the seniors, and that's what we do.
So what is the plan for addressing this these cutbacks?
Okay, well,
first of all, is there a way to redeem the situation?
I think there is, to a point. The legislature will meet again on a special session next month during May, and I'm told by a couple of legislators there might be some additional funding that they can pull out somewhere to offset at least part of this cut that the governor's mandated on this thing. I realize that, you know, the budget's tight and they had to take $100 million out of the rainy day fund, and that's one reason he cut it back according to the article, but he doesn't want to go any further than that, and he may be right on this thing because of the bond rating on that. That has to do with the rating of the state, and so, you know, I'm not second guessing the governor. That's his job to do that, but there is things in the state that I feel that he could have backed off a little bit on and helped the other programs and the senior citizens too, and kept everybody happy, like the racetracks, the horse tracks.
Yeah, I don't understand. Of course, the Tomlin family is into the horses and dogs, right?
Well, they own the dog track down at Cross Lanes. That's the Greyhound racetrack. Oh. And of course, the other bigger ones is the horse tracks. That's up Charlestown and up in Wheeling. And it's not all bad because they put a lot of money into that every year, but there's a lot of money made back off of it, so it's not 100% loss. But ordinarily, there was $89 million put into the budget, and he did cut that back 10%. He cut it back to $84 million, and that's still a lot of money. You know, he could have shaved a couple of million off of that and covered these, you know, these senior programs and that type of thing. So it's a
So there was probably money there.
Yeah, well,
if they just looked real hard.
Right, it's how it's allocated. And of course, when it comes down to that, to me, it's common sense. Which is more important? I'm not saying the racetracks is not important, but which is more important, serving those racetracks or feeding our hungry seniors? You know, it comes down to that. So it's you know, it's a political thing. A lot of it is, and I don't second guess the legislature. If I wanted to be part of it, I would run for you know, a seat in Charleston. But I've got all I can handle in Pocahontas County.
Right.
But overall, the House of Delegates did do good for us. They put enough money on the table, and of course he chopped it back, and maybe he had to, I don't know. But the thing of it is, if we don't protest this thing, we're going to take what we get, and
you
know,
and of course Pocahontas County is a small county.
We're big in size and low in population,
right.
And of course when they take that $1.1 million and divide that by 55 counties, the bigger counties gets more of a lion's share of it than Pocahontas County because of their population. They have more seniors, although we're probably the highest, if not the highest, in the state of West Virginia for ratio of senior citizens. Now, we consider a senior 60 years and above.
And that's me.
And according to the 2010 census, it was 2,440 people in Pocahontas County that's 60 years and older, out of a population of what, 8,750 people. So it's almost
25%.
Yeah. So we're, you know, the other counties have more seniors, but they have more younger people. And of course, I think the bigger reason for that in Pocahontas County, since we don't have much employment here, which everybody knows, the kids get out of high school and they have to leave the area to find work. Well, that pulls our ratio up, you know, of seniors, and then we have a lot of seniors that retire and move back to Pocahontas County, and that increases things, plus the baby boomers is now coming on board that are 60 years old. So you add those three together, and I would imagine when the next census come out, it's going to be, I would estimate probably 2,500 people that's going to be 60 and above, and the overall population is not increasing, it's probably dropping. So that's what we have to deal with, and you know, these seniors, they need help, and that's what we're here for, and we're going to do it.
Well, now you get a little bit of local help too?
Yes, we do. The county commission has been very good. Of course, you was on the county commission, and I was on the county commission, and we always tried to help as much as we could. And they're real good to help us every year. And of course, the county budget's getting tighter too. You know, it's that type thing. But they have put money in the budget this coming year for us, and we appreciate that. And of course, the United Way and Greenbrier Valley and the Roanoke chapter, they both help us. In fact, this past Saturday, we went down, and 7 of us, and helped with the chocolate festival down in Lewisburg that the United Way sponsors to pay back part of the money that they give us, since there's not too much money comes out of Pocahontas County for United Way because people just can't afford it. So we try to go down and help with 2 or 3 fundraisers every year to offset that.
Well, have you got any ideas coming up for local? You just had the we had the Hillsborough dinner.
Right. Well,
that appeared to have gone very well.
Right. That was the whole month of March. It started out in Greenbank with the spaghetti dinner up there. That was a kickoff on the thing, and we had challenges at churches, and everybody stepped up, and we had raffles, and Vita Gum, that's the head cook in Greenbank, made about 1,000, literally 1,000 pepperoni rolls and sold them at $2, and they're nice big. Anybody's ever had those things really enjoy them. So, you know, we done all that kind of thing. We had the crochet class.
I understand that Vita's quite a cook.
Absolutely, very good cook, excellent. And we have an excellent cook here in Marlton too, and a helper. So.
That's what I'm hearing.
So anyway, that campaign went for a month, and of course we can't make it a habit of that because people just don't have the money. You know, once a year we'll have that, and we'll have some fundraisers here and there, but lower keyed, and because we know that the money's just not out there, and there's so many other needy programs here in the county that has fundraisers, and you know, we don't want to we don't want to hog the show, I might say that, so.
Yeah, it just seems a shame when we have to go to such lengths to help
Absolutely.
Grandpa and Grandma.
Absolutely, and we're gonna do it one way or the other. I mean, we
Right.
don't have a choice. These people depend
I
on
know.
us. And how do you tell a senior, no, I can't bring you a meal because Charleston cut us back on funding? And a lot of that money comes, that's federal monies that come in and supplemented by the state. It's half and half, and the president's goal he has for next year on that budget is going to cut $3 million out of Meals on Wheels program. That's all the United States, and you're talking.
Right.
I don't know how many.
It's still a
millions
cut,
of dollars,
though.
but it's still a cut. You know, it's $3 million.
It represents where
Right.
the government is going.
It's the it's the idea of the mindset that to keep squeezing and squeezing,
Yeah.
and these demand for seniors more and more because there's more of us. We live longer, and the demand is there, and we got to meet that demand. We can't let people go. There's people going hungry in this country right now, and it's a shame.
I know.
We can.
Well, the biggest problem probably in this county is that those, like you already mentioned, is the seniors that are having to trade off medicine for food.
Absolutely, it happens. And on Pocahontas County, we're pretty fortunate in that way because, a lot of seniors own their own home. We don't pay high rent. But you take like in the city, Norman, where they pay ungodly amount of rent, and those same seniors are having to live and pay that rent and not know their next door neighbor, nobody to look after them and everything. And the time they pay their high utilities in the city and then buy their drugs, they're out of money completely. So, in Pocahontas County, we look out for each other. And that's not like in the city where, like I said, you don't know your next door neighbor.
Yeah, I can't imagine what it would be like to live in a community that you don't know the neighbors.
That's true. That's one good thing about Pocahontas County. We look out for each other and try to help each other in these storms and everything.
I think that's why there was such a good response to the meal program.
Absolutely.
To do that.
Absolutely.
And I've got personal friends who utilize the senior center.
Right. We try to get as many seniors come into the center as we can because it's important to have
fellowship.
They have that fellowship along with that hot meal. Now, the homebound seniors are not able to travel, most of them, and they they can't come into the center. So that's the reason we deliver the meals to them. But we try to get as many people to come into the seniors to come into the centers as we can for that fellowship because it's very important in their life, and that's one thing that I got that little grant here, $1,600 grant here last year from the Banfield Charitable Trust, and I actually happened on the computer looking for grants and run across that and I applied for it. Now they're home based out of Oregon, and they help senior centers and that type of thing to buy cat and dog food for their
Yeah, I like that idea.
So anyway,
I heard about it
for that thing, and they give us $1,600. That's what I applied for. I think it was up to $2,500, but being new, I didn't want to try to hog the thing. And anyway, I figured never anything more about it. Lo and behold, a couple of days they called me and said, "Well, we've approved your grant." And I said, "Well, great." So anyway, we took that $1,600 and bought a ton and a half of food. That's what it amounted to. And I had it stored right here in this room. Fast Track gave us a real good deal on dog and cat food, and I don't remember the amount of bags. It was like 80 bags, 16-pound bags of cat food, and about the same 18-pound bags of dog food. So we made 2 distributions here out of this office and up in Greenbank and covered the whole county. And what we done is polled the seniors. Now you see on Tuesdays and Thursdays when we don't deliver meals, we can't afford to deliver 5 days a week, but we send double meals Monday, Wednesday, Friday, so they're covered for the week. But anyway, on Tuesdays and Thursdays here and in Greenbank, the seniors are called, those homebound seniors, to make sure that they're okay, that they haven't fallen or, if they don't need anything, and make sure that they're okay. That's standard procedure. And how we found out how many dogs and cats we got, we polled them when we talked to them, so, and I don't know, it was something like 65 dogs and about that many cats, here in the county. So anyway, I just recently, here in the last few days, applied again for another grant, and this time it's $2,000. And I think we're going to be successful because we took a lot of pictures and sent back and proof of purchase where we'd spent the money and all that to them, and they were really really excited about that. That's the program they're in, and and you can look that up on the computer, the Banfield Charitable Trust.
Yeah, well.
and they're help all over the United States for this pet food program. And say, well, you know, what are you doing dealing with cat and dog food? Well, these seniors, a lot of them can't afford to buy cat and dog food.
Right.
And what we found out is that a lot of the seniors, or several of the seniors, were giving half of their hot lunch to their cats, to their dogs.
Yeah.
And that's not good for the senior, and definitely not good for that animal. So anyway, that's the reason we got.
But they would sacrifice for their animal, because that animal to them
absolutely
is like a family member.
That's the only family member they have, and the only company they have, and you know, those animals are precious to them, and so we were happy to help out with that, you know. And I want to continue that program, and especially in the wintertime, and you know, deliver these bags of cat and dog food to these seniors, and that helps them out. They don't have to buy it, because cat and dog food is as expensive as you know.
Oh my goodness, yeah.
That's you know, so that's just another little thing that we found that we added on to help the seniors. And if the money was there, we can find other things, but unfortunately with these cuts and everything, I hope I don't have to cut anything out. The meals, of course, will have to come, because we're under a contract with the state of West Virginia to provide those meals, and we want to anyway. Actually, the amount of funding that we get, and that's the state and the federal together on the meals program, only covers about 70% of the actual cost of it anyway. So we end up with about 2 months at the end of our fiscal year, which is September 30th, October 1 through September 30th. We historically have ended up with about 2 months we maxed out all the state and federal funding, and that's where the county commission funding comes in, and the United Way and our fundraisers to carry us through to the new contract starts on October 1. So anyway, it's a hard thing to do, but we're happy to help the seniors, and we're going to continue to do that. So I don't want the word to get out that we're going to close the centers down.
Okay. We'll get that word out.
That hasn't even been considered. It won't be. Somehow we'll keep these doors open.
That'll make a lot of people very happy.
How much we can do, extra things, I don't know. But we'll keep these meals and transportation programs going.
That's great.